Welcome back to the Tiga Tactics podcast, a show about self-defense for civilians by civilians. We discuss all things personal protection, including martial arts, combat sports, and street combatives. Our resident MANs, martial arts nerds, include co-founder of Tiga Tactics and holder of black belt in 9 different styles, Dr. Conrad Bui.
Hello, everybody.
We are missing the other co-founder, Patrick Vuong, for this episode.
Ooh.
But I am here, your other co-host, retired Army
Yay!
Special Forces soldier and champion obstacle course racing athlete, Evan Ultra-OCR man Perperis. Today we're going to be talking about the World War II Combatives seminar I went to, but before that, quick word about Vulpes Training Products. Vulpes Training Products makes these high-quality plastic polymer essentially weapons. They can be used for cosplay. They can be used for martial arts training. Feel free to head over to like Tiga Tactics or the Vulpes page. You'll see me and Patrick doing some flow drills, some intertunnel flow drills on that. I picked up a version of the Winkler Tomahawk. Anyone who watches the show Terminalist might recognize that. So it's this crazy looking design from Winkler, a famous knife maker. Super cool. They copied it one for one, and it's got a little bit of weight. It's true to form, so highly recommend their stuff. We'll drop the link down in the show notes down below. All right, let's jump into today's episode. So I went to a World War II Combatives seminar. So Dr. Conrad is going to be asking most of the questions, and I'll be answering most of them.
All
Let's kick it off.
All right. What was the title of this seminar?
I think it was just World War II Combatives. It was just yeah.
Very cool. And how did you hear about it?
The guy that helped me get certified as a Medusa instructor, that prison-based knife system, Jason Schultz, also teaches World War II Combatives, and he said there was going to be someone who's like kind of well known in that space going to be teaching in New York, and it was near one of my friend's place, so I decided to sign up to go check out World War II Combatives.
Cool. And I'm sorry. What was the facility like?
It was a Krav Maga gym in Hartsdale, New York. So it was matted floor, couple of, I'd say maybe about 6 or 8 hanging heavy bags, and normal kind of martial arts looking type gym.
Cool. And who taught it, and what was the instructor's background?
So Matthew Temkin, his dad was one of Darby's Rangers. He was a Ranger from World War II, and his dad taught him the system. And then Mr. Temkin, he's been teaching this for I don't know how many decades at this point. But he was also a New York City police officer, so he got some real world kind of hands-on experience dealing with physical contact with other people. So essentially taught from his dad, passed to him, and then he spreads it around.
Yeah. And does the instructor, Mr. Temkin, have like regular classes that he teaches, or he only teaches at seminars?
I think he only teaches at seminars now. I mean, he's up there in age. He's 73 or 72, and he still moves pretty well for an older gentleman.
Great.
I was impressed.
Yes.
I was impressed.
Inspiring.
Yeah. And he demonstrated most of the techniques, even demonstrated a couple of the throws, not all the throws. And he demonstrated a couple of the kicks, again, not all the kicks. But he was moving and he was looking good. I was impressed.
Very cool. And who is the seminar for? What kind of person would benefit from the seminar?
I feel like a lot of the people, again, this is just me speculating. We didn't go around the room and kind of introduce everyone with their backgrounds, but just kind of from listening to people talk, I feel like most of them are kind of like history. We're a little more interested in the history aficionado type of crowd. I don't know how many of them train other martial arts. I know there were some guys who have trained. I don't know how many of them are like actively training.
Right.
But it was in some ways kind of the idea is to kind of teach it simply so you can take it and just practice these moves and you don't have to kind of go through a formal belted system. The idea is, again, just like Tiga Tactics Combatives and other forms of combatives, the idea is, it's reductionist. It's very few moves executed violently with, using Hick's law, something we talk about in Tiga Tactics, that, you only have a couple of options. So you just execute that hard and violently without a lot of nuance to the technique.
Okay, well, describe to us what happened. You pulled up to the gym, you walked in the door. Go ahead and describe to us, what happened during the whole day.
Yeah. So the seminar, it started. He talked a little bit about the history, which is cool. Again, I mentioned people were interested in that history, so
Hmm.
he talked about how he learned it, etc. And then we kind of jumped right into techniques. A lot of the techniques, essentially, if you've read W.E. Fairbairn's "Get Tough," it's a
Hmm.
famous World War II combatives book. Uh, it's also All in Fighting or Defendu. He's published the same book like 6 different times with slight variations. And
Mm.
you can find it free on Google if you want. You can also buy it off Amazon, like all 6 books in like one hard copy volume, which is what I had done. I think a couple years ago. So I was familiar with the material going in, which was nice. But basically, honestly, we basically like kind of started at the front of the book and just
Hmm.
kind of like went. He didn't actually like have the book flipping through pages, but as I recall it, it was very similar, just basically going through the list of moves. So there's a lot of like there's a bunch of basic strikes, tiger claw, chin jab, edge of hand blow, which is basically like a karate chop type thing.
Cool.
Uh, knees, snap kicks, leopard paw, double chin jab, uh, the ear clap, like that thunder clap where you hit on both sides of the eardrum,
Nice.
and some like spear type elbow movements. Um, those are kind of the upper body ones, and then the kicks. There's a couple of like side kick, rear thrust kick, and then we did a couple of kind of basic throws. Um, and talked a little, did like talk a bunch about combos, and then kind of towards the end, we blew through the material pretty fast. Towards the end, it kind of devolved into there was another guy who had been training World War II combatives who kind of shared some of the other things that he had learned over the years. So we ended up doing a little bit of one of the students requested stick fighting. So in W.E. Fairbairn's book, he uses a short stick, kind of like a Kali stick, but he
Oh.
uses it like a bow or like a bayonet. So you're not like one-handed doing redondos and kind of whipping the tip,
Mm. Okay.
or throwing angle 1 and 2s. It's more like pretend your stick's a bayonet, so you have one hand high and one hand
Uh,
low in alternating grips, and you kind of like strike with it and uppercut with it and kind of like thrust it forward.
right.
Um, so not the way I would use a short stick if I had the option. But again, I feel like it was cool look at like a historical
Hmm.
closed system.
Excellent. And you mentioned like the panther fist, tiger claw. Is that what they named it as well?
Yeah, or at least that's what I believe that's what the book says, and that's what they were using. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I liked some of the reductionist, the kind of the simple number of moves. Not necessarily the moves I would like. I don't like the leopard's paw. I just don't think it's like a structurally sound move. Like I feel like my hand folds in every time I do it. And if you're not familiar with the leopard's paw, it's basically like, how do I describe it? You're bending your fingers, but your hand is like your palm stays open. So you're hitting with like your bent fingers.
Yeah, like your second knuckle joint. So you have one knuckle closer to your fingertips there. Go to the
Yeah.
second one and just fold your fist at that knuckle. So, even for me, just folding it is kind of hard. I guess I'm developing arthritis from all the jujitsu, but yeah.
Yeah. And the logic behind it not being that structurally sound is like, oh well, you're hitting soft targets like the throat, so it doesn't need to be structurally sound. But I
Mm.
don't know. For me personally, I'd rather just like make a fist and go with a slightly wider like impact point for something that's much more structurally sound.
Oh man, Evan, I'm so disappointed. You are not a child of the 80s Kung Fu theater. Come on.
I know, I know.
Let's see here. You mentioned also that it went kind of fast. What did you mean by that?
I didn't mind the pace, so he would show a move, we would practice it, and then we would kind of like uh the instructor would come around, make some corrections, and then they would kind of move on to the next move. normally I don't really pay attention to what other people are doing,
Hmm.
um, because I'm just in my own world, right? I'm focused on
Right.
myself.
Yep. Yep.
I don't care. Not that I don't. I'm just busy, right? Like I'm focused on myself.
Right.
Um, because the instructor was a little bit older, sometimes he would have other people demonstrate as well, and so I started paying attention to what other people were doing. And again, I don't think a lot of the guys are actively training. So like when we were going over Tiger Claw or Chin Jab and stuff like that, he's like, well, make sure it's not telegraphic. And if I say that to you, you're an experienced Muay Thai guy, you won't telegraph, right? Like there's
Hmm.
no I don't have to make any additional corrections. Like I say, Conrad, don't make it non-telegraphic. And you'd be like, I
Right.
got it. Um, I feel like a lot of the guys would still telegraph, right? They'd still cock their shoulder back before throwing the strike. Um, so I think the Tiga tactics, slow, smooth, fast approach would have been beneficial uh, to go for this group, based off of the proceed level experience.
Right.
Um, yeah, like we do. Again, as a teacher, I tend to be very like, just like as an author, I tend to be nitpicky about other people's things, you know, because you develop your own style, and you're
Right.
like, well, I think my style is the best,
Hmm.
obviously, because otherwise, if I didn't think it was the best, I would change so my style was the best, right?
Yes. Yes.
Uh, so some of it's me being a little nitpicky, but I thought the at a slower pace, at least for the group we had, would have been more beneficial to them to kind of do that slow, smooth, fast approach and allow people to kind of like make on the spot corrections again, because people who are newer or don't train as much tend to go too fast too early. So
Right. And you when you practiced it, how did they have you practice it? Like just kind of like on a partner and you stop before you hit them, or did you use pads? How did you practice it?
we mostly did on a partner or on the heavy bag. So it was either on a partner or the heavy bag. So we never took out pads at any point. Um, but the we would basically do it on a partner, do it on the heavy bag, and then sometimes we'd use footwork as well, which we didn't talk about footwork. Which again, if you're an experienced martial artist, it's not going to be a problem. You're used to step, slide, and slide step, and all the other V steps and all the footwork. If you don't train regularly, that can be overwhelming, right? Because now I'm trying to control my feet and my hands simultaneously. And if we're doing combos that involve cutting to angles or moving to the sides, again, uh, I feel like some of the guys picked it up great, and some of the guys, I feel like again it was too fast for them. Yeah.
Mm. Overall, like what did you think of the seminar?
The I liked it as a look at history. Some of the things I don't like is because it's a historical system, it is a closed system, right?
Hmm.
So if there's a better technique, or maybe I don't like the leopard's paw or don't like the ear clap or whatever, um, that's too bad. That's part of the system, right? So that's already in there, and I can't modify it or can't change it because I'm looking at a historical lens. Um, so that's I'd say one of the big drawbacks. I think some of the guys in the World War II combatives community, they w- they don't understand why we changed into the modern army combatives program, right? Because World War II combatives is very gritty, right? I'm eye gouging, I'm throat striking, I'm palming, and modern army combatives has a lot of like grappling base in there, because it's about controlling people. I think World War II combatives is solving a problem that didn't necessarily exist, and I know that sounds weird. Right, so modern army, we are going into rooms with our rifles drawn, and people are grabbing our rifles, and we are having to deal with that.
Hmm.
If not, if they're far away, I'm just going to shoot them. And if they're closer, I'm going to hit them with my rifle and then shoot them. Or I'm going to transition to a knife or transition to a pistol, right? Uh, a lot of these moves are great moves, but like I'm going to use my rifle first, right? So it's attempting to solve a problem. I don't think that comes up quite as often as people imagine in warfare.
Hmm.
And I think just like Tiga Tactics and uses CCTV and cell phone footage to identify the problem first and then come up with the solution. I think World War II combatives, kind of like older martial arts, is using hypotheticals, and then the modern Army combatives program is using actual reports of what people experienced in combat, and video, and then coming up with solutions from there, right? Like, so I think that's one of the big ones for the change.
Yeah, some people like in the martial arts community, they might uh, poo-poo like grappling focus things like that. And at first I thought, yeah, that sounds so silly. Why would you want to grapple? But we talk about the pillars of personal protection. At the very bottom, it will be mindset, and right above there is skill set before your tool set. And so a lot of these recruits, they're coming in and they might not have any type of martial arts background. They might have never even been in a fight or anything like that. So their mindset, they don't have that mindset of what it is like to feel that pressure of a fight. And I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or grappling arts, that's the safest way to introduce someone to somebody else trying to full on control them. People who have never done martial arts or grappled, yeah, when they're put in that situation, I could see that they're in a fight or flight situation. It's life or death kind of struggle. To us who grapple all the time, I'm grappling, I'm goofing around, I'm laughing, I'm smiling. But
Yeah,
to a person
making
who's never,
jokes. Yeah,
oh
same.
yeah, oh yeah, to a person who's never done that, they're literally fighting for their life, and I think that really instills a really powerful tool set, mindset to that person, which is more important than skill set and tool set. So after I figured that out, I thought, okay, I see why they're doing that now.
Yeah, yeah, and the doctrinally stated, the purpose of the modern Army combatives program is, one, instill the warrior ethos, and
Mm.
two, enhance battlefield survivability. Right, so you nailed it with that instill warrior ethos and that grappling.
Yeah,
Uh,
I looked up like I think the World War II combatives. It's kind of like from the 1940s, 1930s,
yep.
1950s kind of thing. I looked up the cars from that time, and if you do a search of the cars, it's the old Ford cars and Mercedes and things like that. And these cars don't even have seat belts or head restraints, because it just wasn't important back then. They didn't know that seatbelts save lives, or the head restraints will keep your head from snapping to the rear of the seat, because that's what happened in high speed collisions. People's
Yeah.
head actually touched the back of the seat. Without that head restraint, people's head touch the back of your seat. So if you think, oh, my neck's not supposed to do that, you're right. It's not supposed to go that way. And so they put in, the people call it head rest. It's actually head restraint, so your head doesn't go all the way back. So, yeah, there was a lot of technology that was introduced since that time. And so, to put something into like a museum or to solidify it into a certain way of doing things and not progressing, I think that just hurts everyone. But again, if you're just preserving it as kind of a cultural thing, that's cool too, though.
Yeah, yeah. I think I thought it was cool, especially as someone who's certified in like the master level, which sounds more impressive than it actually is, of modern Army combatives. Um, I like being certified in that, and then being exposed to World War II combatives, or maybe even if they do some sort of certification, I would be interested in like pursuing that again, just because I feel like I bring an interesting perspective of
Hmm.
being able to see both ends of kind of like the combatives history in the United States Army. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, that.
again, the closed system, you just run into a lot of problems, right? Like, to think that combatives was perfected in the 1930s and 40s and has made zero improvements after new technology, new weapons, new ways of fighting. Um, it's just I just don't think it's factually correct. But again, I think you can still learn a ton of great things, right? Like, they were big on like center line attack. They were big on aggression. They were big on like ability to like blind the person or strike them. Those open palm strikes. We use eye wash and palm strike in Tiga tactics, right? We use a lot of
Hmm.
that same methodology. We just slightly different takes on what they were kind of looking at. We also, again, towards the end, the seminar, we blew through a lot of the material. So at the end of the seminar kind of devolved into a lot of like Q&A. And again, we covered some stuff that is in the books, including one of the things is sentry removal, which is, again, where we're operating in, I don't say we're operating in we're basically operating in make believe land, right? So sentry removal is you sneak up on someone and you kill them from behind, essentially.
Ah.
Um, I don't know. Let me. I don't know how often that happened in World War II. I'm sure it happened. I don't think it happened as often as people think it happened. I'll say that.
Hmm.
And I don't know of any. Again, I'm not saying it never happened in Iraq and Afghanistan. I just don't know of. I've never heard of a story of a sentry removal. I know
Hmm.
very few stories in general where even knives were deployed as a method to kill someone, let alone silent killings. Like we're just operating in the realm of hypothetical. I feel like.
Oh, come on. I saw plenty of it in Hollywood.
Yes, exactly. I feel like that's a holdover from Hollywood. Um, and again, I'm sure it happened in World War II. I just don't think it happened as often as people think it happened.
Okay. I've got the book here actually. I noticed there's a various methods of securing a prisoner with rope. Did you guys go over that?
We did go over come-alongs, which is a method of securing someone and kind of walking with them. So
Hmm.
essentially, it's kind of like I'm standing side by side, and I essentially get into like a Kimura grip. So like
Hmm.
I underhook your arm and then put my hand on your shoulder, so your arm's in that like Kimura position, and you're kind of bent over.
Okay.
So yeah, and then a lot of the moves were, again, kind of like some of the stuff I've learned in karate. Very like, all right, he does this, you respond with this, right? He does
Hmm.
bear hug over arms, here's what you do. He does bear hug underarms, here's what you do. He does, this type of grasp, here's what you do. The army got away from a lot of that because it was actually like too specific. Um, and they just want you to be like, get some experience grappling because you're not going to have time to think when when it actually happens. And if you have experience grappling, you'll tend to do what was worked because you've explored and played with it and had high pressured events of it in your actual training. So
Hmm.
kind of another reason the army kind of went away from that. Um, here's a drill, here's a response that's specific to that kind of grab or that hold. Um, yeah.
Very cool. And so nothing with the rope, huh?
And no, we did not do any rope ones. I can, if anyone's curious, I can teach you some very basic hasty handcuffs very quickly
Cool.
at the next Tiga Tactics seminar if anyone wants to show up.
Sure, I'd love to see that.
It's so simple. It's like preposterously simple. The one I know two, but yeah.
Cool. Cool. Yes, I'll sign up for that. Uh,
Okay.
what about like defense against like knives or firearms or things like that? How was that taught?
We didn't do any firearms. We did do defense against knife. It was basically you essentially like eye strike the person, and then kind of they were less concerned with the free swinging knife than I would have been concerned with. I'll just say that. Um, I, like if you hit their eyes and you get it spot on, great. I think that's a pretty good first step. That being said, I feel less confident in my ability to strike the eyes that quickly, and I'm more concerned about securing the free swinging knife,
Mhm.
which tends to line up with what Tiga Tactics teaches and lines up with what ShivWorks teaches regarding blade defense. So,
Right.
yeah. And again, with blade defense, like we've talked about before, you know, you need to look at what criminals are actually doing and defend against that, which is that repetitive motion, simplistic type of attacks. that we see on CCTV video and cell phone footage.
Right,
So,
right.
uh,
Did they go over maybe how to use any tools for self-defense, like a knife? You mentioned using the short stick. What about a knife or anything else?
we didn't really cover offensive knife stuff
Hmm.
at this one. I know in W.E. Fairbairn's books, he does talk about it a little bit. Um, and he's got that famous timetable of death in there,
Mm.
which, stab here and the guy dies in 30 seconds. Stab here, the guy dies in, 15 seconds. Um, Interestingly enough, Michael Janich, founder of Marshall Blade Concepts, has he talked to, I think it was Rex Applegate, like one of the World War II Combatives guys, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that timetable was complete BS."
Wow.
um, and if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because heart rate, blood pressure, size of the person, how bad of a wound you got, how much of the artery was severed, right? Like there's too many variables. The goal in Michael Janich's book, according to Michael Janich's book, Contemporary Knife Targeting, is that the goal was to give confidence to the soldiers. Because if
Mm.
you've got these recruits that are going into combat, and if you tell them, "Hey, if you stab this dude, he'll die in 15 seconds," they'll be like, "I can make it 15 seconds. I can definitely stab this dude in that one spot, and we'll
Hmm.
make it 15 seconds." Right? You're giving them confidence. You're going back to modern armed combatives, you're instilling that warrior ethos and that battlefield survivability. That's what he was really trying to do.
Mm.
The chart was just he's he's like a psyop campaign against their own people to convince them that they're more competent than they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So overall, I liked it. I think it's a very interesting look at the historical system. I think it's a solid way of self defense. That being said, I think there are better options if you're going for like pure combative, pure self defense.
Hmm.
One of them being Tiga Tactics, obviously. That's why I'm on this podcast. Because I believe in the brand. Um, the
Evan, at this point, you are part of the brand.
Thank you, thank you. Um, we talked, and I mentioned we were moving fast. The seminar was, I think, 6 hours.
Mm.
Um, it would be like if we covered, for those of you guys who been to the Tiga Tactics seminars, it would be like if we covered the toolbox series of strikes, punch defense, because we also did a little bit of that, knife defense, and instead of knife work, if we did stick work instead, it would
Mm.
like it if we covered all of that in 6 hours. Oh,
Wow.
and some anti-grappling,
Sure.
right? That's a lot of material, right?
Yeah, enough for someone to get a taste of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like I said, I just, again, I'm as a teacher, I tend to be overly critical, but it was fast for I think a lot of people. I
Mm.
thought for me personally, being pre-exposed to the material, like we talked about in the seminar episode, that way, and being having training in striking arts and training in grappling arts, I felt comfortable at the pace we were moving. Um, we did do some throws. I don't, but we didn't go over break fall, so I was like slightly
Mm.
concerned with some of the other participants. I didn't want anyone getting hurt, so
Hmm.
I ended up like volunteering to take a lot of falls,
Mm.
which is we did that one throw. I can't remember the actual name of it. It's a sacrifice throw where
Oh.
the guy's pressuring into you, and you essentially fall backwards and kind of either kick him in the stomach or the groin or like underneath
Mhm.
his legs, and he does like a full forward roll. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think it's called Tomonage.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with all the Japanese names. But yeah, we did that one, and I was like, I'll just be the uke for all those. Just 'cause I didn't think anyone had any experience doing front rolls or break falling. Um, the age range was a mix of age ranges. We had, I think, a couple of late 20s or low 30s guys, and then a couple of 30s, 40s, and then a couple of 50s, 60s in there. So it was a pretty wide range of ages.
Mm.
Um, Again, with unknown various levels of martial arts experience because we didn't go around and talk about what everyone's backgrounds was. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think that kind of sums it up.
All right. Well, thanks for
Um,
sharing everything with us.
yeah, it spurred some ideas for maybe a future project I can work on. We'll see if I get around to that between all the other writing things I constantly have popping up into my brain. But may not be the last time you hear me talk about World War II combatives. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Cool. All right.
What else we have coming up for Tiga Tactics?
All right.
This will be late July. This will publish.
Late July. So in August, we have, of course, Dragon Fest on August 2nd. That's a Saturday. It's a one-day event. We will have a booth there. Evan will be there. Myself will be there. Patrick will be there, as well as a cast of characters as well too. You'll have everything from martial arts grandmasters to actors and stunt people, celebrities, and seminars going on all day, all sorts of different arts presented. There's also live performances all day as well too. Just a lot going on. It's basically Comic-Con for martial arts, and come and join us.
Yeah, please come and join us. It is an experience unlike any other. I feel like it's frozen in time in like 1992.
And I think it's still that even the venue's frozen in time.
I just think it's so. I don't even know the word. It's just so interesting to me. Um, you just got to see it in person. It's like
Right.
it's the martial arts world from 1992,
Mm-hmm.
and UFC 1 1993 never happened. We are just
Right.
living in 1992.
Yes.
Um, so it's good. Please come and hang out with us at the Tiga Tactics booth and hit up some of those buffet style seminars that are located throughout the day. If you are local to that area, it is 100% worth coming to. You like for the price point for entry and the amount of information you
Oh
can
yeah.
receive
Yes.
is, I mean, it's like insane. So yeah,
Yeah, if you just pay to get in and do the seminars, you'll more than make your money back. And you've got really excellent people leading those seminars as well too.
agreed,
So
agreed.
that is worth it. But then it's also just fun, just walking around all the booths. If you're a martial arts nerd or a film buff, yeah, you'll love it.
Absolutely. And then what other seminars we got coming up
Right,
in
August
person?
16th, New Hampshire. Tiga Tactics will be there, myself again, Evan again, Patrick will be there, and we are going through the punch defense as well as anti-grappling for that group there, and so it'll be a lot of fun. Come and join us there.
Yeah, and apparently I'm teaching you how to make hasty flex cuffs with a 550 cord as well.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, that should be a good one as well. Now, again, check the show notes down below for details and signups, etc. You can also see links to my book, The Combatives Blueprint, and link to Run If You Can, Destroy If You Must. Uh, for those of you who are not runners, I feel like I started telling people it's more of a situational awareness book, and I
Mm,
feel like that now people are picking it up a little bit more, um, because that's really I feel like the core of the book. It's situational awareness. Like only a small percentage applies purely to like running.
right.
Most of it's situational awareness, presenting a hard target, etc., using Tiga tactics principles on things to carry, etc. So um,
Yeah, I know we described it as the runner's guide, but and then in parentheses, we'll mention like for our webinar, we will mention also if you walk or hike or even leave
if
your house,
if you leave your house, if you leave your house, it's for you. Yeah, yeah.
it's like that. It's almost for everybody.
It is for everyone. It is for everyone. There's a couple of like running specific tips, but like
Right,
90% of the book is like these are general tips that everyone should apply. So
right. The mindset portion, which is
absolutely,
the foundation of anyone's self-defense. Absolutely.
absolutely, yeah. And then link also down below for takedown sportswear. I got some shorts, custom shorts that are one off. Pretty cool. You can put your name or your logo or whatever sponsor on there. Pretty awesome. And they're not too expensive. They usually have a discount too. So I think I have a discount code, Ultra-OCR man. So again, that's in the show notes down below. And then a quick shout out to Tenet Cone Knives. I got some of their products. One of them was the Quaken. Essentially, it is a uh, Japanese style knife, shortened piece of steel, very simplistic, not so expensive that if I lost it, I would be upset, but expensive enough that I feel confident trusting it not only for utilitarian purposes, but for as a method of self-defense if necessary. It's got a great clip on it, great sheath. That's anyone who listened to my fixed blade episode know that's like my number one issue with most knives is like their sheaths or their carry options are not good. This one, despite its lower price point, I think it was 40 or 50. It's very good sheath. Stays in my pants as I draw. Right, no matter how many times I draw, the sheath's not coming with the knife, and fits really nice in my hand, especially with like a thumb cap on the back if you do reverse grip. So, and then the handle's super grippy. It's 550 cord wrapped, but kind of spaced out, so it creates kind of bridges, keeping your hand in a nice secure position. I'll drop a link for that down below as well.
And one quick shout out for Thai Battle Boxing. They've sent me some gear, and it's the gear we use at World Team USA here in San Francisco. And if you're looking for Muay Thai gear, kickboxing gear, self-defense pads, and things like that, hit them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will see you in the next episode and hopefully in New Hampshire or Dragon Fest for the in-person events.
That's right. Take care, everyone.